Hi, everybody. All right. I'm sorry I won't be there the next couple days. I want to go over with you really quickly the schedule for what we're doing. Remember that everything that you are looking for, you can find here on Daily Class Plans with links. If you click on that, remember that it'll take you to this document. And on the top is the little bookmark that you can use to jump to today's or this week's plans. So you'll notice that for the next 3 days, I've got different things that you're doing each day. So you're going to be watching a video in class on cross examination questions, and then you'll be completing an assignment in Schoology on Wednesday. On Thursday, you'll be watching a little video about rebuttals and rebuttal tips. And then on Friday, you'll be finishing up everything that you need to, including submitting the final draft of your constructive. So each day there's something that is due. If you take a look at Schoology, you'll see by uh, the end of class today, you want to get done with your questions for your cross examination. For Thursday, the preparation for your rebuttal. And then for Friday, your final cross examination, you want to make sure that you have that submitted. All right, so let's take a look at what we're doing today. Okay, so the cross examination, let's talk first about the objectives of cross examination. So, in this particular debate, we're going to be really focusing on cross examination skills. So, first of all, these are the 6 different things that you can ask questions about, or you should ask questions about. Number one, clarifying points. You want to ask questions that will clear up anything that you didn't get from the constructive. So, asking someone to repeat a contention, because I, this time, am not going to coach you through the contention. So, if you miss one, you can ask someone to repeat it or to clarify what they mean by something. You could ask a question about that. You need to attack contentions in the cross examination and in the rebuttal. Remember, any contention that is not attacked is considered a dropped contention and is a point for the other side. If you notice any errors in logic, or if they say a particular fact or a statistic that has been proven to be false or problematic, if you find that information, you want to point that out and you want to figure out how to ask a question to expose those errors. Isn't it true? Or did you know is a good way to phrase those questions. Remember, last time we had a lot of kids who were like trying to put points forward, but weren't putting it in a question. So, isn't it true that blah, blah, blah? Yes or no question, remember. Obtain admissions would be to try to get someone to admit that at least part of your argument is valid. So when you say X, are you really trying to say X? Is a good way to kind of say that. And then setting up your own arguments, remember everything has to be in form of a question, and you want to go for yes or no questions because you don't want them to kind of take over the cross examination. And then the final thing that we haven't talked about so far is that you want to also be able to challenge the reliability or the credibility of their sources. So you can clarify by saying, what source did you find the information that supported your first contention from? And then you can ask a question like, do you believe that this source is non biased or is an independent source, or that this source does not have an agenda? What potential agenda could this source have? What reason could they want to be including this information on it? So, for example, for your fast food debates, you could challenge the credibility of a source if, for example, McDonald's is the website that you're using to quote about like the health. So it's not independent. Obviously, McDonald's is going to say that their food is healthy or healthier. You want to find an independent, non biased website to support that. So those are the 6 different things that you want to kind of take a look at. Let's see what I want you to do in today's assignment. So, questions for cross examination debate. Open up that assignment with your partner, and you and your partner are going to get together and talk about some of these things here. So if you look down here, begin with your resolution statement. Remember that it has to be the exact same resolution statement that was on the original topic list, and it's the same one that your opponents are doing, only beginning with "we affirm" or "we negate" the resolution that. Okay. So then I want you to come up with at least 12 potential questions. Um, that right here you will write down some questions that you could possibly ask. Like, could you clarify your first contention? Or could you repeat each of your contentions for us? Um, Things like that. So you want to come up with 12 potential questions. Think about how you're going to structure your questions and how you might follow up those questions. Now, then, think about when you are being asked questions, what do you believe the opposing side will ask to challenge or attack your questions or your contentions or your evidence or your sources, and how you will argue against that? So I want you to fill this out with your partner. Um, Everyone needs to submit this, not just one per group. You and your partner sit down together, write it out. You write it on yours, your partner writes it on theirs, you submit. This is a separate grade for every person in the debate. So everyone needs to submit it by the end of class today. All right. So that's what you should work on today, Wednesday in class, and get it complete by the end of class.